We are losing daylight hours, so I've got to be a little bit fast here. As I was driving from work today, I couldn't help but think about something my coworker said. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'll start this with a story. When I was in 5th grade, I lived in Virginia, and I went to a predominantly white school. And in that predominantly white school, I had a group of best friends. I couldn't tell you what we talked about and why we decided to be best friends, but we were. It was one of those things where I really wasn't popular at all, specifically in elementary school. I was borderline mute at times, like in very specific years. I think 6th grade was particularly bad. Was this in 6th grade or 5th grade? The friends. I think it might have been 6th grade. Whatever. I was not a cool kid. And in my best friend group, one of them was pretty popular, and the other two were like not losers, but they weren't the coolest kids in my class either. But they were, they were doing fine socially, I would say. And for whatever reason, we were all friends. Anyways, I came to school one day, and I walked up to my friends, like I did every single day, and I was like, hey, what's up, guys? And I got nothing back. I was like, hello, did you hear me? And I kept asking until it became very evident that I was being ignored. To this day, don't know what happened. I don't know why they all of a sudden just started ignoring me. But I was really sad. I think as any 5th grader, 6th grader would have been. They were my only friends. I didn't have any friends besides them, so them ignoring me meant I had no friends left in school. I went back home that day and I cried to my mom about it. I would continue to cry about it because it lasted for a while, or maybe in my kid brain it felt like a while. I remember this going on for months. Maybe it was a week or two. It felt like eons, and this one day, after it'd been happening for a while, my mom was like, all right, you know what? Let me tell you how to fix this. We're going to fix this right now. And she decided to take me to Abercrombie & Fitch. She bought me a new pair of jeans and a t-shirt, or a long sleeve shirt, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a v-neck. I think she might have gotten me like 3 items. She asked me, of course, first of all, she was like, what do the kids like to wear nowadays? And I was like, Abercrombie. And she was like, wear this to school. I want you to go up to one of those girls, or all of them, and give them a compliment. And they'll start talking to you immediately. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. This feels like random, but I'll do it. I went to school. I put on my little Abercrombie & Fitch outfit, which I know for a fact was ugly, but ugly. And I went to one of the girls, let's call her Cherry. I went up to Cherry and I was like, hey. Ignored me like she had been. And I was like, I like your bow. And she made a face. I remember this so clearly. She was like, oh. And she was like, thank you. Just like that. And I proceeded to do that with the 2 other girls. And like it was nothing, they all started talking to me again. I think actually we also were like on a field trip that day. We were like not in school. And they were like, all right, let's, like, they just pulled me back in like it was nothing. They're like, all right, let's go do this now. Like, oh, what's this over here? It was bizarre. But I think that did something to me at a very young age, where I learned that to get people to like you and to get, I don't know, respect or admiration or whatever, you have to, 1, not be yourself, and 2, people are very fickle and move in waves very easily. Anything could pique their interest or make them lose their interest like it was nothing. And I think that kind of damaged not only the way I view other people, but my sense of self. I felt like there was no being me. If I wanted to exist relatively comfortably in this earth, I would have to find a way to become someone else. I proceeded to grow up and in every chapter of my life make some drastic to me, difference in the way I looked or behaved or whatever, to adapt, I guess, to whatever the situation was that I was going into. Like when I was going into high school, I was like, all right, I am no longer going to be the loser kid. I will be popular. And I got a weave for the first time. I started dressing differently. I have to go soon. Anyways, all that to say, I have not known who I was. I've not known who I am in a very long time. I think that I like the place I've landed. I've definitely picked up a lot of traits from a lot of different people, in a lot of different places to come to this conclusion. But I to this day don't know if this is me, without any interference. Part of you being who you are is the experiences you've been through, the people you've known, whatever, and I understand that, but there is a certain level of identity that I feel like I've been missing my entire life, because I, like a sponge, will talk to someone and just copy. I'm constantly mirroring back my interactions with people. If I'm talking to someone, actually this has happened too many times where I will be talking to someone and they are coming off pretty strong, right? And I'm like, okay, time to come off strong. And obviously this is not something I'm telling myself in my head. It's all very subconscious and it just happens. But I'm very aware of when it's happening and I can feel it happening, but I can't stop it. Someone's coming off very strong talking to me, and so I'll come off very strong back at them. And they're like, whoa. Like, people react, or like if someone says something that I think is kind of mean and I respond in a mean way, they're like, oh my gosh, you're being mean. And I'm like, I did that because of you. I feel so defensive every time it happens, but I'm like, I can't tell them that I was mimicking their personality or their cadence or their tone. I can't say that because that sounds insane, but I genuinely feel like that's just how I know how to interact. It's never just me being me or talking like myself the way I would. Yeah, I have a lot to say, but I really do need to go soon. It's something I've struggled with for a little bit, and it gets frustrating at times because I know that I'm not being fair to the people I'm interacting with, and I'm not being fair to myself. But it kind of just is what it is. The thing that annoyed me that my coworker said was that, okay, we were talking about how we keep work and our personal life separate, and they kind of don't, and I was talking about how I do, but I'm pretty open, like I'll share things if we're sharing. But like within that conversation at some point she goes, oh yeah, you're definitely not the type of person to do this. I don't really remember what specifically she was talking about, and I was like, first of all, you don't know me. In my head I said this, not to her. Second of all, I don't know me. So how do you know what I would do in any, like, you know? Yeah, it's weird. I also, for the same reason, don't really like mixing certain friend groups. If I'm not like, you guys are in the same category, because I'm like, I am a completely different person with these people, and these people, like, it would be unrecognizable. These are things I tell myself. It's probably not that dramatic, the difference in my personality, but I am like, we could never cross, because it's just so, yeah, I would actually have a panic attack. I only know how to exist in certain contexts with certain people, and I get a lot of anxiety when I feel like I am not able to exist in the way that I've practiced, or if I'm not getting a good read on someone in a way that I can like mimic. It always feels a little bit stressful and confusing. I need to go. I'm being summoned by my friend who's mad at me because I'm supposed to be playing games and I'm in here making a video. Let me read some of these messages to you. Bruh, get your ass back here. And I said, I'm coming. And I said that 5 minutes ago. And they said, bruh, you lost your legs. They said it twice. So I must leave. But thank you for listening to me. I know this was very short. I did want to just stop in and say hello. Get your thoughts. Do you feel similarly sometimes? Do you feel like I'm a crazy person? Thank you for watching me. Alright, goodbye.
You're